nature in which you will find a lot of communities within the Western world operates under the immediate accusation of mental illness is one that has actually turned from less of a catering system to more of a weaponized stigma, in which they direct towards colored people and people who actually speak up and address truthful situations which have government approved research, facts and studies which have actually all as evident as it is to a regular person and not to a blind slug in America. All of this research will show you that hundreds of millions of black people daily face brutality, racism, and are actually at greater risk of losing livelihood due to a slight misunderstanding, whether that's a colored person grabbing his wallet in order to show an ID to the police and the police take him out of his livelihood due to the police's inner fear that the colored person is going to retaliate against him due to the level of brutality that the system in which he serves has caused towards the colored community. It is quite interesting if you look at that from an outside world, and this is what the westernized world doesn't understand. They are very flat. They have no meaningful contribution towards any cause or related cause that actually serves towards a regular purpose. How can you accuse and these are real stories that I'm talking about. How can you accuse a colored person of reaching for a weapon that you created a constitution for, that you actually made, that you perhaps even imported with your ships, with your tax dollars, and then you go around and you accuse another group of people for perhaps using or equipping themselves due to the systemic research and evidence in which colored people have been targeted as property, as colored people have been targeted by white communities who use religion as an excuse to use colored people to serve them according to their own ideal of an economy. This is all education that the professionals do their absolute best to hide, and if they cannot hide it, then they just will not talk about it, and they will use their quote-unquote friendly language to suggest that something is wrong with you for calling out a situation that oppresses you. The understanding as far as you go in terms of how a illness comes about. The illness has to have a cause. Even if somebody is born with the illness, something or someone or an environmental circumstance caused the illness. It is almost impossible to say that somebody was born and spread an illness. No. I think science will even prove to you that most illnesses you will see and even face in your life, and perhaps even from your own experience, have been caused by environmental factors, or they could have been even caused by situations that were out of your control. There is scientific evidence approved by top institutions which tells you racism has caused stress, and stress is one of the most inducing triggers for most situations that you will find that many of these professionals try to diagnose black people with. They will never acknowledge that the stress is coming from racism. They will always tell you that these people just woke up one day and decided to act out of control. Because the good old white system can accommodate for the good old white young lady who walks into a land of, or should I say, a pot of gold, who walks into an educational system that talks like her, that looks like her, that caters for her. But then when a black woman is faced within that situation, you will find that the levels of abuse, the forced treatment to whitewash the reality in which these people have to face becomes the or appears to be the only method of survival. The level of whitewashing is the cause as to what tricks colored people into thinking that the black mind can become the white mind, that the way of living of black people has been incorrect due to the fact that the system has taught you that their statistics prove that black people are more likely to go through poverty or any unprecedented related circumstance. This is all boiling down to one issue, which is whitewashing. And all whitewashing is the inability to understand the reality of the black experience. The black communities in Europe have actually achieved stability in receiving their degrees and receiving their accomplishments and within their households. And let me not even get into black communities in Africa who actually have even established their own educational institutions.